Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Now, I have a couple of articles here, pretty much centering around the same topic, dealing with civil war and pretty much Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, right around the 15th verse. Okay, which is what we're seeing, all right, which is ultimately being orchestrated by the Heavenly Father Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahushai. And as these things unfold, prophecy, because that's exactly what it is. As it unfolds before us, you're gonna start to see it, more and more. It's gonna intensify more and more. All right, words, okay, the words that we read on in these books, all right, on these pages and so on and so forth, are actually manifesting before us. All right, and people are very not they're very they're not taking what this guy Biden said in a good way at all. And it's interesting because prior to him coming into office, we told you people this was pretty much the path he was going to go down. Whichever president was going to stay in power was going to go down this path, one way or another. But everybody, well, most people decided, no, 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 no. This is who we want. We don't know why we want him, but we just want him because he's better than Trump. Get him out of here. And now he's here, and this is what he's doing. He messed up, pretty much you have this whole mess that he's made over there with the whole Afghanistan situation. And now it's like he's just making it even worse, all right, with these mandates. Okay, and people are saying, look, man, you got people getting their lawyers ready. You got people saying they're going to take to the streets, all right, and they're getting ready that the second they start trying to implement these things, people are going to start bugging out. They're going to start rioting. They're going to start getting crazy, all right, and going one against another. Because remember, you have people that are on the side of being against these mandates, but there's also people on the other side, all right? As the scriptures say in the book of Isaiah, that the Egyptian, I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, or the modern day Egyptians are you so-called Americans. Okay, and you are going to go one against another. One people shall stand up against another. You will have civil wars and race wars and all of these things happening. Okay, this will be like daily life. Because if you're paying attention, you're seeing that your regular, oh, I'm gonna just wake up, go to work, do everything normally. That's not looking like that anymore. And the second, he started making these statements, people ran straight to the Constitution. They ran straight. They said, no, no, this is unconstitutional. He's doing this now. When he starts to overstep that, and do these unconstitutional things, because these elites know that that's going to be a trigger for a lot of these people. And guess what? They want that civil unrest because that gives them the perfect opportunity to bring order. All right, through declaring a national emergency, through enacting these troops. All right, whether peacekeeping troops or whatever troops they're gonna bring. Okay, and allow them to fully lock and gain full control of you people. And what they're doing is they're having you, they're baiting you, all right, into giving them that power. Now, this is an article, and I'm not gonna read all these articles. I'm gonna, read the headlines and then, maybe certain portions in the article that are key, and pretty much you can get the vibration of what's happening. Now it says here, this is from ZeroHedge.com. White House Chief of Staff admits that these mandates, the V mandate, the V date, is a work around the constitutional objections. All right, so what does that mean? Well, let's see. It says here, in the law, it is called an admission against interest, all right, or an out of court statement by a party that, when uttered, is against the party's pecuniary, proprietary, or penal interests. In politics, it is called just dumb. Okay, and let's look up admission against interest. against interest. Definition. It says here. Well, here it says declaration against interest. Yeah. All right. In United States law, declarations against interest are exception to the rule on hearsay, in which a person's statement may be used where generally the content of the statement is so prejudicial to the person making it that they would not have made the statement unless they believed the statement was true. All right. And this guy, he's talking with all this pride as if, he's saying that these you have these different politicians and you know people in certain authorities that are saying, look, we're not going to stand for this, and we're going to come against this. And you got him saying, well, I'm ready to run you over. Okay. So now you're having the federal against the states, you're having the people against people, people against government. What do you think this is going to lead to? All right. It says and this is only he basically announced a 6-step plan. And this is only phase one, step one, because he said he's going to announce some more, I believe, next month. And this month, you're going to have a lot more other mandates go into place set by different governors and mayors, and the elder apostle Tahar put up a video that was based on rethinking the dollar, and in that, the video rethinking the dollar did, he basically mentioned he read a list of 7 potential executive orders that are additional to this that they might come up with or come out with and declare in the month of October. So it says, so it's looking to be very, very interesting. All right, let's put it like that. It's looking to be very, very interesting and real. Okay, where you're gonna have genuine people, even though you have controlled opposition here and there, the controlled opposition stirs up the spirit in the actual people to where some of these riots that are going to be coming up ain't going to be just, there's going to be set up agents here and there, but you're going to have some genuine anger in there. All right. And that's not going to be looking too good because if you look at it, they're systematically creating a purge like situation. They're not firing police officers, but indirectly they are. Okay. And these different healthcare workers, these 911 responders, these EMTs, these nurses, pretty much the people that help the different aspects of society to hold together are now leaving their jobs, especially the law enforcement, which now leaves room for more crime, especially when desperation like this sets in. White House Chief of Staff Ronald Klain offered a doozy this week when he admitted that the announced use of the authority of the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, had for a V date was a mere workaround of the constitutional limit imposed on the federal government. You hear that? A workaround. And if that's allowed, that's where it starts. Oh, well, it's like a precedent. We were able to work around it to save lives. So why can't we work around it again? And maybe in a situation where it's more desperately needed, we may need to just push it aside a bit more to save some more lives. All right, so it says here, the problem is that the thing being worked around is the Constitution. Courts will now be asked to ignore the admission and uphold a self-admitted evasion of constitutional protections. Huh. Isn't that interesting? It says here, Klain retweeted MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle, who posted OSHA doing this V date is an emergency workplace safety rule is the ultimate workaround for the federal government to require, Vanessa's. It says the workaround was needed because as some of us have previously during both the Trump and Biden administration, the federal government does not have clear authority to impose public health mandates. But if they work around, then they do. Now, like I said, people are waiting for him to try and enforce this. And what do you think is gonna happen when these people say you're bugging out? We're not gonna follow these mandates. Then they're gonna have to make these people follow the mandates, right? Because what does not following the mandates look like? Well, you telling me I can't go to the store? I'm going into that store. you know, I'm going in here, and then you're saying no, you can't. So now you having back and forth. You having governors saying no, in my state you can't do this, and the federal government, oh well, we finna bulldoze you over, and it's gonna cause a lot of chaos, all right, in the streets. Now it says authority for such mandates has traditionally been recognized within state authority. All right, and then it goes on. Um, yeah, it pretty much goes on a bit more. Like I said, I'll leave the articles in the description so you can read them fully yourselves. All right, but as you can see, they're saying this is a workaround constitutional objections. So you know that they're taking that step, man. All right, they're getting ready to they're leaving that lamb-like appearance, and they're now speaking as a dragon, literally. All right, literally. Now this is another article here from Zero Hedge, which says Rand Paul, and this is what he says, and he's a senator. It says V dates that ignore natural immunity should not be adhered to. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, they're probably gonna take this video down because of the angle or the what side of the totem pole is coming from. You know, but hey, anyway, you know what? It is what it is. So it says Senator Rand Paul responded to Joe Biden's far-reaching V date announcement by stating that it ignores science and should be resisted by Americans. So, what is this an example of? All right, this is a clear example of Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, as we're going to get to, you know, after we look at this final one right here. Okay, and this one says, by Snyder, says, there is no turning back after this. And that is exactly what we've been telling people. All right, there is no turning back after this because the path that they've chosen is like being at a fork road and having to go down one path, and once you step in either the right or the left, you can't come back. And they have stepped in the draconian way. Now it says this is the most sickening thing Joe Biden has ever done. That is saying a lot because Biden has a long history of doing sickening things. For the past couple of hours, I've been trying to find the right words to put what we just witnessed into proper perspective. This truly is one of the most pivotal moments in American history, and there will be no turning back after this. We are descending into full-blown tyranny, and I have literally felt sick to my stomach as I have pondered the ramifications. What remained of the country that so many of us once loved, yeah, okay, is being absolutely eviscerated, and it is deeply heartbreaking to watch it happen. Well, on the flip side, it's not really heartbreaking on this end, more so rejoicing because this place deserves all of this. This is prophecy. All right, we are on the side. See, we'll give you the news. Don't get it twisted. We will give you the news. We will update you on what's going on in the world and how this relates to prophecy. But this is the difference between us and truthers and others is that they'll tell you because we all telling you what's happening. What's happening? It's what's happening. Whether it's we're telling you or they're telling you. But they'll be on the other side. Oh no, there's something we can do. We should do something to try and, avoid this. No, no, no. We're saying let it come. We are on the side of prophecy. Okay, go team prophecy. You know, so we're gonna give you the news, but we're not gonna be out here trying to heal Babylon. No, no, no. This place is long gone, long gone. We're chanting down Babylon. All right. So now let's go to that famous precept, which is the time we're living in now. Second Ezra 15, starting at verse 14, and it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." And now Ezra, okay, which was, man, probably what, around the time of the Babylonian, Neo-Babylonian Empire. Okay, so you're looking around, like 530 something, or prior to, no, about 540 something. Okay, around the 540s BC, so on and so forth, but around that time span. And that's about roughly 500 years before Yahushua came on the scene, which is about 2,000 years ago. So you're talking about 2,500 years ago, roughly, that he got these visions. And after all those years, it's finally unfolding right now. Because what? It's prophecy. Now it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And what? One people shall stand up and fight against another. What is that? Civil war. Okay? But not only civil war, it'll lead into race wars. Okay? It says, and swords in their hands, which are weapons. So this is going to be armed wars. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. If you don't know what the word sedition means, I advise you to look it up. But we should all know what it means. But that's what you're seeing happening. Sedition among men. All right, the uprisings, the refusal to adhere to authority. It says, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay, so they're not going to regard their kings nor princes. Now, what is an example of a king or a prince? All right, an example of a king or a prince is a president, okay, or a vice president, okay, or these people that are put in these different authoritative seats. Now, how are they not regarding, meaning to adhere to their kings or princes? Well, you have statements like this. Um, Ignore telling people that they should not adhere, okay, to Biden's requirements. Biden would be considered the king of America, the king of Babylon. Okay, another one is here. They're saying there's no turning back after this. They're saying that, look, we're ready to sue your ass. That's the mindset they're coming with. And it says what? In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So you got like the Florida governor who's like, look, bro, we're going to do what we're going to do, So don't bring your shit over here. This is all prophecy. Now, the main thing was, okay, we know this is going to happen, but what's going to cause this to happen? What is going to be that, and really we're able to tell by looking at when these prophecies are beginning to be fulfilled. We can then tell, okay, what is causing this to happen. Because when you start seeing that sedition and that uprising as we're seeing now, and the division and the people standing up, going up against another, you can now look and say, oh, this is the reason that's happening. This is what's causing that. And if that's being fulfilled, that means that what? The next chapter, the 16th chapter, is getting ready to be fulfilled. Revelation, the 13th chapter, is getting ready to be fulfilled. Revelation, the 9th chapter, and from the 12th verse on down, is getting ready to be fulfilled. All right, Joel, Isaiah, all these scriptures dealing with the destruction and the rest of the prophecies are getting ready to be fulfilled, because they go right one after another. All right. So now it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Because what's going to happen? See, now you notice verse 17 comes after verse 16. Because when the sedition comes and the uprisings and the people not regarding their kings nor princes and taking matters into their own hands, is going to lead to chaos. And when chaos comes, they're going to bring martial law, and they're going to lock things down. They're going to set checkpoints. They're already planning to block interstate travel, domestic and international travel, getting on planes. All of these things they're going to prohibit you from doing. All right. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and troubled in many ways. Locked down, burnt, destroyed, starved out. It says, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So as all this is going on, you have food shortages. You have people that are being prohibited from getting access to certain things. Now you got to ask yourself, why would they rob people's houses? Why not stores? Well, what do you think? The scripture, matter of fact, let's go to it. let's go to the book of Second Ezra. I want to say 6. No, it's not 6 and 24. Oh, 6 and 23. Nope, 22. All right, so this is Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. It says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." So remember, lack of bread and for great tribulation. Not only are food going to be, scarce, people are going to be panic buying. And those shelves are going to be empty just like that. Because this isn't going to be like a storm that just passes. This is, I need to get me this. I'm not paying, I'm taking this. So when those are empty and, some days go by, people get hungry, they're going to start going to houses, neighborhoods, rich areas, trying to see what they can find. All right. It says, as we read here, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what all this is going to lead to at the end of the day. Why? Because it is all prophecy. All right. So now let's go to the book of Luke 21. And let's start at verse 7 and jump around. And this is the disciples when they asked our Lord, what are going to be the signs of his return and of the end of the world? Which, when you read it in Matthew 24, that explicitly says it about the end of the world. All right. This is Luke 21 and 7. It says, "And they asked him, saying, Master, when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things come to pass?" So how are we going to know? What are we to look out for? All right. And he goes and telling them to take heed, to not be deceived. All right. Then verse 9 says, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by." So you had, I believe, back in 2017 or so, you had the um, the North Koreans shoot. I think they were doing their shooting some missiles around. All right, then you later on you had this is during Trump's presidency, the Tomahawk missiles that were shot um, into Syria. Okay, and then you had various other incidents. Latest you had Israel and Hamas going at it. Okay, so these were all little wars and rumors of wars, amongst others that they don't really put mainstream. But Yahushua said the end is not yet, for these things must first come to pass. First, okay, first come to pass. But the end is not by and by, meaning there's still some yet to come after these things. And what are the things to come? Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what we're seeing now. All right, we're seeing nation rise against nation. We're seeing a kingdom that's divided. All right, and we're seeing civil wars in the making. It says, "And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places." Mexico just got one recently, and these earthquakes have been nonstop. "And famines which are coming, they're already hitting other places, but they're finna hit this place in a big way. And pestilences." So now you have the Nipah thing over there in India. You got these sicky vicky strains running around. All right. It says, "And fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven." And then it goes on. So now we're looking at where we at. All right, seeing these prophecies come to pass now as the time moves forward. The 13th is what, 2 days from now. All right, so as they try to enforce these rules, we're gonna start to see, all right, a lot of people start, really losing it. And we're gonna see those videos, those social media videos of this incident here and this incident there. You had people getting shot over masks. What do you think is gonna happen when you try to block somebody from entering a restaurant or a store or a mall or going to work? Well, we're going to see how it goes. So, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.